Welcome to our channel. We're all about faith, family, home, and farm. Come on in and grab a chair and sit a spell with us. If you like readable versions of all of our content, be sure to check out both of our blogs. The links to our blogs will always be in the description box below our videos. If you know anything about homesteading or living on a farm, there is always something to do. Sometimes me and my granddaughters, we just get to take little rides on the Ranger around the property, check things out, look at everything, just go on little adventures, let them go on little adventures. I mean, my gosh, there's so much land to explore. And what kid doesn't want to just get out and put on their rain boots or their mud boots or barn boots as we call them and just go walk some trails, jump in a little puddle, little creek, catch some frogs, run up and down hills like Mary and Laura Ingalls, and just explore and have a good time. But there's also those times when work has to be done. Plans have to be made. Unexpected changes have to come up, or changes that you've planned to make. And that just needs to make the farm or the homestead function a lot better. Some of those changes or plans or jobs include maybe hiring outside person that has bigger equipment than you do to help get some of those jobs done. But a lot of changes that you need to do on your farm or your homestead to make things flow and function a little better, to where you're getting the most utilization or you're utilizing your property or your homestead the most that fits your needs. Some of these changes we started planning back in the late summer, and we were able to get some things done, or at least planned and in the process, before we had to take off on a work trip. And when we got back from this work trip, then we're able to pick up from where we left off at. And the little foxes, we've enjoyed seeing them all year long and raising them. A mama just had her babies out here and she raised them, and they've just become part of the farm. But a lot of these things, we were getting ready to do the last of the fencing that needed to be done on our property, that they started working on, oh my gosh, almost 4 years ago, making all these changes and getting this last bit of fencing done. That's the reason why we had to put a halt on the rest of our kitchen to hurry up and get all this fencing done, because the herd was just growing and growing and it had to be done. And now it's time to get this last little section done. But there was one big job that just, was an eyesore, and it was the place where it used to be my goat pen, and then after I had to rehome my goats, we turned it into a dog kennel. But then trees and shrubs and all kinds of thorny things and stuff started coming in, and overgrowing. Trees were growing up in the fence. It was tearing the fence up, and we were just so afraid that it was just not going to hold the cows and things like that. So this had to be done. That whole right corner section over there just had to be done. And it had to be cleaned out and up, and we had to incorporate an outside source to help us get this done. And he came in, cleared everything up, all the fences taken down, old fencing. Now I want y'all to see what this is fixing to look like after all this was cleaned up and the progress that has been made on the farm. Boy, was that ever a drastic change. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now it looks like it did way before I ever brought my goats over here for the very first time. That looks so bare back there. Oh my gosh, just goodness gracious. That just looks so bare back there. It looks like it did years and years ago before I ever got a bucky barn for my goats and then fenced it in, and it's like we're going backwards in time. Oh my gosh. Hey Annie, my ever-loving little cat down here. Hi Annie. Oh my gosh. Alright, and they got the barn, my bucky barn, and the dog kennel moved to over there. Oh my gosh. Now we re-fence, connecting back there on the right hand corner, across there, back across the front here. Oh my gosh, because that fence was very old. That was goat fencing and repaired goat fencing, and yes, it had to be taken down. Oh my gosh, but that just looks so bare back there, like we're just going back in time and starting all over. Oh my gosh, and it's unusual seeing that my bucky barn and the dog kennel right back there in the back. Well, sometimes you do have to embrace changes to upgrade your farm, make it better, stretch it out. Yeah, because I believe this pasture back here is going to be all for weaning calves. So we have different paddocks, different pastures for different things. And I think this may be bull. I'm not for sure. Anyway, they've got it in their plan to rotate pastures. This one will be used for something, but I think it's weaning calves. Now I might be wrong, but that's what I am thinking of at this moment. But like I said, I may be wrong. But yeah, this looks completely different back here. But like I said, sometimes you have to make major changes on your farm to make it more functional. Don't waste your space that you do have. That was a dog kennel. Well, that was my goat pen first for my bucks. And then we moved dogs over there. It became their dog kennel. They had a whole little pasture back there. It was fenced in. And then a gate on it that was theirs. all these years. And then now that we've moved the dogs to another pasture, you just utilize your space, make do with what you can, don't waste your space, and utilize it. So that's what they're doing. We're going to be moving our hunting blind back there. The wind has just absolutely, and storms, hailstorms is what damaged my hunting blind back there. But now we got to move it because I can't hunt from that spot anymore because now we have cow pastures back there. So now we have to find another place on the property to put my hunting blind and get a new cover for it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not one to really like sudden changes, and this kind of shocks me. I mean, I knew what they were doing, but I mean, once you actually see the finished product, I'm like, oh man. But I understand. You utilize your space, like repurpose, recycle. And there you go. Use it for something else. So now it's going to be used for cows. Got winter hay ready for the winter. We're stocking up. So yeah, there's plenty to do on the farm. Got to get all my garden spot cleaned up. Got to get all this out of here. Get this cleaned up. Get ready because I am actually going to start planning. I'm not going to say anything yet just in case it doesn't work out. I'm going to start planning and prepping for the way that I want my garden in this next growing season. Now, like I said, it may happen, it may not. So I don't want to eat my words. I'm gonna plan, and then I'm gonna start. I may get to a stopping point. I may get it all done this year. I don't think I'm going to. But this year, I'm not going to have to grow as much because we've learned our lesson because we're running out of space. Only grow every year what we need. Take an inventory. Only grow what we need. And I'm good with tomatoes. I'm good with jars of sauce. I'm good with roasted tomatoes. I'm good. The only thing I will probably do... Hello, cow. Hello, cow. The only thing I'm going to have to do... Kitty cat, don't get up under my feet. That's not a good idea right now. Hello, cow. Y'all want to see the cow? Hello, cow. The only thing... as far as tomatoes I'm going to have to do this year, I don't have an empty hand. Hold on, I'm trying to get in the door. I just got back from town. Oh, and they were finishing up doing the bulldozing work when I left. I didn't know what it was going to look like, actually, when I got home. Anyway, a little dark. Anyway, what was I saying? Let me get in my door here. I got a Coke in one hand. Purse. Sweater weather. I don't like that, y'all. It's so funny. Okay, I'm so tired. Tomatoes. I'm not going to have to grow as much this year. I got a hair in my mouth. Excuse me. Because I have plenty of sauce. And I got plenty of tomatoes. What I am going to do, and probably the only thing I'm going to grow this year, is just a couple of little cherry tomato plants, just so we can have like some little pick, fresh eating, snack tomatoes, the little cherry tomatoes for salads, granddaughter snacking on. I mean, that's a healthy snack. I'd rather them snack on vegetables than snack on chips and cookies. But little snackable tomatoes, okay? So, that's what I'm only going to have to grow, probably just tomatoes just for that. But I'm planning my garden. I'm drawing up some plans, giving my husband a visual. This is what I need done.
I'll work on what I can work on. This is what I'm going to need your help with. This is my plans. Give me your thoughts. Help me do the math and the measurements because I can't do that. I'm like, just tell me how many. I'm going to do my raised beds out of concrete blocks. I'm not going to build my raised beds with wood because after so many years of getting rained on, they're going to get weather rotted. I would have to redo them. I ain't got time for that. I'm not getting any younger. And then I'm like, what about these galvanized? What about these that you can just buy and put together? Well, I looked at those and then I got to thinking, they're not as big as I want. Sure, they'll last. They're not as tall as I want, not as long as I want, and then they cost a little something. So I'm like, let's do something that's going to last for years, and I can utilize my space because you know the little holes in the top of the concrete blocks? I'm going to have those facing up. 2 little blocks in each concrete block. Around my tomatoes, plant marigolds. You see what I'm doing here? I'm utilizing my space, and I'm thinking smart. Okay, I can plant something in these little holes. I can plant herbs. I can plant flowers. I can plant other things inside the little holes in the concrete blocks. So you see, and I can build my raised bed as high as I want it, and as long as I want it, as wide as I want it, instead of having to go online and search for certain sizes. Y'all see my handsome Marine back there? Yes, that was his boot camp picture. Anyway, and we were married in his dress blues, right? There. Married in his dress blues. I was Cinderella. Anyway, okay, well, I got sidetracked. Okay, where was I? My husband still gives me butterflies. Okay, see, I can build my own with my own measurements. So I told my husband, I said, you're going to have to help me figure out my measurements and how many cement blocks I need according to my measurements, according to how big I want it. So that is my plans for this year. I'm looking out at my garden. That is my plans. I may get it all done this year. I may not. But this year, he's going to give me 3 more feet longer. We're taking the wire fence down because it got a little nicked during the summer. And he's like, let's just fix a whole new one next year. We have spliced, and I'm tired of splicing. And he said, let's just get a new one next year. And then I'll probably space out the T-post some more and just start. Winter time, fall and winter is my time to start my planning, my drawing, getting all those seed catalogs in the mail, looking at all this. I just love spending my winter time planning, focusing on the next season to get, because sometimes you can sit around and you don't have anything to do, and you can start getting depressed during the winter if you don't have something to do. So I spend the winter time planning, focusing, drawing, looking at all my seeds and stuff, looking at all my stuff, and just playing around, seeing what all I can do. And now this year is really planning. Okay, we got to get all this out of here. We got to lay our plastic. I need to start collecting cement blocks, measuring. See, but I'm not going to tell y'all what all I'm going to do because I may not get it all done this year. I may get just a couple of raised beds done before the planting season, And I may not, because we still have to squeeze in another work trip between now and planting season. And I'm always getting home just in time. I got that open window, okay? Because I'm rushed in my summertime, because I'm like, I gotta play it now, because everything needs to be done and harvested and either in the freezer or in jars before we leave for the next work trip. So see, I have only an open window. So yeah, it may all get fixed this summer. It may not, but at least I'm doing a little at a time till I can get it all done. And it, like I said, it may take 1 year, it may take 2, it may take 5, but I'm getting there. It's, just like their changes. Little changes here and there. I'm not getting any younger. I'm having to think of ways to make things easier on myself, because I'm thinking future tense gardening here. Okay, I'm not getting any younger. I'm not going to be able to do this. Not going to be able to bend over as much. Not going to be able to do this. See, plan ahead. Just do a little at a time. That's all you got to do. Okay? Think that's all. Till the next clip.
Now that all that is finished and caught up, the rest of the fencing can proceed. A little bit more hard work, sweat, and tears. Hopefully it can all be finished before this cold weather sets in for the winter time. But being on a farm or your own homestead, just remember, no matter what work or no matter what work needs to be done or changes needs to be made, it's always best to be able to utilize your farm to where it flows and functions more properly, and you're not having wasted space. Just embrace the change and go with the flow. I hope you've enjoyed this.